All right, guys, so I just done the introduction video of plans for the car for the few days that I've got to work on it. So I'm going to run you through some parts here that I've got laid out. I still haven't gone through everything, but I've got most of the stuff out here. So I just wanted to talk about some of this stuff. It's kind of cool. These are the videos I like when guys drag in cars, you know, at their house and they go through their parts. I just think that's interesting for some reason. But, you know. Anyway, so here we go. I'll start right here. This is going to end up being a 2 different video series. I'm just going to be able to do this side, and then I'll have to do that side in another video. I'll do it after this one. But anyway, from friends and family stepping up, I've got the bumper brackets that I needed front and rear. I've even got all the bells, and I even got a bag of hardware here. So I've got everything to mount the bumpers. I even have a set of older reproduction front and rear bumpers from my cousin Steve because he bought all new again. And they're pretty nice, but they're still at his house. I just haven't brought them home. But of course, he needed all his brackets for his bumpers. So I do have decent, nice bumpers for this car. I got an automatic factory 55 column here. This was a 3-speed standard transmission. I'm going to be changing it to an automatic because I'm putting a turbo 350 in it. Transmission, 3-speed automatic. Had the original battery box with the car. It has one rust hole in it, so I think I'm going to blast this. And I think I'm just going to cut this little piece out and bend up a new piece and butt weld it in there and repair that. And then I think I'll bed liner this. I'll blast it to bare metal and bed liner it. That way the bed liner is, you know, pretty resistant to battery acid. So I think that'll be pretty cool. But anyway, I got all the bumper bracket parts and pieces for that. Got some grill parts. This is something I'm going to do on the car. It's not really original, but it's to me, it's what I'm going to do because they're here. I have a mint set of quarter moldings for a Bel Air 55. Now, this is a 210 series, so it is this style. It doesn't have the insert pressed into it. So this is the only one I have here that's 210. So it seems like there was another pair of these somewhere that might have came with the car, but I can't find them. But I'm going to use these because these have no dings or nothing in them. Like, these are perfect. This just needs sanded and polished. So, and the inserts repainted. So I'm going to use these. And then I think in my shed I have a nice pair of door spears that are mint. They're actually to go with these. So I had a perfect full set somewhere. So I'm going to end up using Bel Air quarter moldings on it, but it's still a 210, you know. But I don't know that anybody will ever notice that. Got a super nice hood bar. I've got another one in my attic that's, I think, nicer than this one. Usually those are pitted really bad. What else? I got some tubular control arms here that I'm going to put on the 4-door. These are Mutton Hollow, and I bought these brand new from him back in like 2013. And when they came in, I just wasn't impressed with them because they're small, like the tubing is small. And this whole area is real open. To me, it needs to have something a little, you know, at least up to here maybe. I don't know, but anyway, they take the stock style shafts. They have new bushings and everything and new ball joints. But anyway, I ended up buying a brand new bigger set for the hard top. So I've got these extra. I had ended up throwing these outside, but anyway, these ball joints came with it, and these are tight and these are new, so I'm just going to use those. But these lowers right out of the box were junk, both of them. You can lift them up and down. Like, you shouldn't buy brand new A-arms with brand new ball joints and them do that, but that's the way they were. Those are those overseas piles of crap, probably. But anyway, the ones on this car are, somebody's replaced them at one time and they're still tight, so I'm just going to use those. But I had cut the flat plate out of here because this is all solid flat with a round piece of tubing welded in it for a cut, like a saddle for your coil spring. So I cut the pockets out of original set and sunk them down in there, welded it. So this will actually probably lower the car a little bit, is what I'm thinking. I don't think it's going to lower it a whole lot, maybe an inch, inch and a half or something, which I don't think I'm going to mind much. So I still think it'll be okay. But I had thrown these outside, these lowers. These were under the workbench, but I threw these outside, so they got pretty bad. But the bushings still appear to be okay, but I'll end up blasting them and cleaning them up and repainting them and stuff. But anyway, so I got tubular control arms to put on this car. And should have all new suspension stuff pretty much at that point, or newer, I'll say. So that's the hood hinges that came with the car. They're still pretty good. They're not super sloppy. I have a pair in my shed that are super sloppy. Like, somebody must have opened the hood on their car out in the field and left it up for like 10 years, and the wind kept blowing it and moving it because they are wore out. These are pretty decent, so I'm just going to reuse them. I had bought these for my hardtop. These are just some crystal style H4 headlights. H4s are always a little bit brighter than your sealed beam halogen. That's why I always replace them with these. These have blue bulbs, which I don't really like, but I think in my house somewhere I have a pair of clear bulbs in a bag. I'm gonna have to find them. Anyway, I'm gonna put these in the 4-door because I had replaced, ended up buying another set for the hardtop that's the Max Tail with a fluted lens. So I'm gonna end up using these in the 4-door, so I will get some use out of them at least. Now here's something that I think is pretty cool. My dad gave me a chrome triple gauge set that you screw underneath your dash, and they're Sun Pros. And he had them in his garage hanging up on the wall, and I seen them. I was like, hey, I need them for the 4-door. But I have this dual gauge pod that is a vintage one. I don't really know how old this is. I've seen these in quite a few old people's cars, older cars, not old people's, old cars. But this is like an older thing. Anyway, this is not the gauges that actually came in this, but I think I'm going to take the oil pressure and water temperature out of the Sun Pro triple set and put in here and reuse this pod because I just think it's vintage and it's kind of cool. So anyway, I've got some speaker wire, extra speaker wire, and just some stuff like that I'm going to use in the car for the stereo system and stuff. I got some original wiring crap here. I'm going to rewire the whole car myself, one wire at a time, with the original fuse panel. I have a really nice clean fuse panel over there that I'm going to use with the glass fuses. But I'm going to rewire the whole car one wire at a time, color coded. I have tons of wire here. So the taillight housings that came with this car, somebody had drilled big holes and had some kind of gaudy big socket put in here for a different bulb. So I ended up throwing them away, and I had this set. And these are clean and used, or nice used ones, so I'm just going to clean them up and use them for this car. And my cousin had gave me on his hardtop he's restoring. He bought all new stuff all over again. Now he bought his car and somebody had already done a partial restoration on it and they replaced a lot of the chrome parts, but he ended up buying all new again. So I ended up with taillight bezels that still look new, turn signal housings that still look new, and headlight bezels that still look new, and I even got his bumpers. The grille surround still looks new, so all that stuff will clean up good. So he gave that stuff to me and I appreciate that. But anyway, I had taillight lenses, backup lenses, and I've got a set of amber lenses that are brand new from my hardtop because I changed to LED, so these have never been used. So now I'm going to put them in the 4-door. And then moving on down here, this car had a standard heater in it, and I am changing it to deluxe. So I have all the deluxe stuff here, but I'm missing the main front section of the heater box, and I don't know what the hell I did with it. I had one extra or two extras, and I don't know what I did with it, but I'll have to dig around and look. This is also kind of cool. My dad had this in a shed, and this is an older reproduction, I guess, or aftermarket part. It's a blower motor for the heater, but this thing is so smooth, and it still works nice. It's quiet. So I'm going to use it on the 4-door because every time you drag one in, the blower motor is always real stiff and seized up, and when you put power to it, they just burn up. So that's going to end up working out. I've got this used original heater core and valve from a 4-door that I used to drive that I know is good, so I'm just going to turn around and reuse it in this car. So this is another thing that I don't really have to spend money on. And for whatever reason, I had an extra set of door seals for the cowl vents and the kick panels. So I'll be able to rebuild my kick panels. There's brand new, these are the rain gutters that go into the dash and go out the side of the cowl. I've got those, and then for whatever reason, I got 2 brand new pairs for a rear for a sedan in the bags for this thing. A buddy of mine gave me a bunch of 210 armrests, and I already had some here. So now I've got way more than I need, but I should be able to pick out all the best ones with the nicest stainless strips and just make one super nice set of 4 for this car. And I've got the original drive shaft from this car. When the guy bought the motor and trans from me, I went ahead and knocked out the yoke and gave to him so it would work on his transmission because it didn't have any rust on it from being in the trans all these years, you know. Usually when a drive shaft's been sitting out, the yoke gets all rusty and, you know, messed up, and it'll tear up your rear seal. So I knocked it out and gave it to him because the Turbo 350 takes the fine spline. And it's kind of cool because behind my compressor in there, I have a brand new drive shaft that was custom made for a Jaguar I used to have that was a small block conversion, and it has a brand new yoke on it. So I'm going to knock the yoke out of that drive shaft and put it in this one, if this still works in the car. Now here's something that I'm a little bit bummed out about, but This is a brand new energy suspension body mount set. This is the urethane. Anyway, I went through these and dug them all out, and there's 2 missing out of it. And when you buy these for your Tri-5 Chevy, they will come, if you're building a sedan, there will be 2 extra in your box, because hardtops have 2 extra body mounts. And it may be maybe the convertible has them too. I just don't know. I've never had a convertible. But anyway, I am missing basically 4 out of here, but I only need 2 more, and I need this style. I have some older rubber replacement ones in here, and I thought I'd just use 2 of these. But you know, rubber's a little bit more squishy than these, and I don't want the body to get a tweak in it. So if anybody is fixing up a sedan Tri-5 Chevy, and you bought this set, you're going to have 2 extra ones in there that you're not going to use. So I would be interested in maybe trading you some extra parts I have, or some little something, or maybe buying them if they're cheap enough. I just need your 2 extras that you're not going to use. But I need the lower piece, the upper piece, I need the metal sleeve, and I need that gold washer. So I don't need a bolt, but I need 2 of these in the urethane if you have them laying around. But you know, it's a shot in the dark, but somebody may, you know, have the box laying around in their garage from restoring their car, and they may have the 2 still in it. But where am I at on minutes here? So my cousin gave me his antenna from his 55 because he bought a new one, but it was missing some of the pieces. And then I had a bag of miscellaneous factory antenna parts here, and even have a brand new chrome bezel here and a new black plastic nut there. So I've got all the pieces I need to put the antenna in the car. So that's kind of cool. He also gave me his old wiper motor because he's doing rain gear in his car. This thing still works, and it's still pretty quiet. So I've bench tested it and everything still works. So I'm going to put that on this car. Here's the rear grains I was talking about. This is like a mint original Neptune green ashtray for 55 that looks like it's hardly had any use. So this is the one I'm going to be using on the car. I have like 2 or 3 extras over there on the other side. I haven't went through this box yet. There's wiper transmission parts. There's some seals. There's some paint dividers. There's a lot of crap in here, man. Some headlight plugs, alternator plug, another set of headlight bezels. Yeah, those are kind of crusty, but not terrible. I don't really know what all's in there. I'll have to dig it out and look at it. I was going to save that to try to build my transmission linkage out of, because it has that kick in it. But a few little window cranks here. I haven't went through all this yet either. It's a lot of hardware and stuff. There's the fuse panel I'm going to use because it's still pretty nice. So let's see, I'm down to 1250. Probably better go ahead and cut it off on this video, but I will show this. So I've messed with so many Tri-5s through the years. These slide trays right here, this is all Tri-5 Chevy specific hardware stuff. There is stuff like specific bolts for everything. Screws, nuts, bolts, all kinds of stuff that's Tri-5 Chevy in it. So that's pretty awesome. You know, when you buy a project car and it's stripped apart, somebody's already stripped it out, probably gonna be missing hardware. I have everything I need, man. I'm pretty happy about that. That's gonna come in real handy. I know these cars pretty well from messing with them so much, but I still don't consider myself an expert on them because, you know, I still learn stuff every day. Like here's one that I really don't know. If anybody knows, comment below, because I know they make these different, but I don't remember what's what. See how this seat slider is lower than these 2? What is the lower one for? I only have 1. There's 2 on the bench seat in the car, but I had these in my shed, and I don't remember what the lower ones are for. But that's a pretty good height difference. So if anybody knows, comment below. I'm curious. It's definitely Tri-5 Chevy. I just don't know. I don't remember if it's like hardtop or something different than sedan. I don't remember. But anyway, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and cut this video off, and I'm gonna fire it up again to do part 2 of the other parts, or part 3 or 4, or whatever this video series is gonna be. I still have to figure out what I'm gonna call this thing. But anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it like I did.